This year, I've made over $650,000 trading stock options alone. To celebrate the best year so far in the market, I wanted to tell you guys 5 things I wish I did this year that could have made me well over $1 million. Whether you just got started trading or you've been trading for a while, everything that I say in this video will be able to help you in the future. Let's get into the first tip. The first thing I wish I would have done less in 2024 is trade less. It's funny how that works, that when you trade less, you're actually making more because you're risking less. If you're risking $1,000 a day, you're risking $20,000 a month to make maybe 10% of that. The key thing is to trade volume. You want to trade when the market is moving, and not every day it's going to move. If it was that easy, everyone would do it. But it takes another understanding of the market to figure out why and when the market will move, which takes us on to number 2. You need to stop paying attention to what the news is and paying attention to when the news is. I use forexfactory.com. It shows you all US economical news, and these are news events that will drive the market. Keep in mind, we as retail traders don't have enough money to move the markets, but banks, hedge funds, billionaires, they do. So when it comes to interest rates, PPI, CPI, unemployment, employment, whatever, these are things that are big in the economical world. And I'd like to say they're fairly important. So if we're trading the US stock market, we'd only want to pay attention to US news. The thing is though, is you don't want to get caught up in what was the interest rate, did they drop interest rates, raise interest rates, what's gonna happen. None of that matters. The only thing that matters is when the news is. So if we have CPI an hour before market open, then you know that there's gonna be a move in the pre-market, right? So if you have a long-term setup on larger time frames, you can align your setup with news. Say we broke previous highs, we're retesting a fair value gap, and there's pre-market news the next morning. I would take that trade 1,000,000 times out of 10, and that's actually what I did on Nvidia to make $10,000. This is the setup, this is the profit. Take what you will with that information. Number 3 is stop trading 0 DTEs. This year, I lost a lot of money trading 0 DTEs because I was playing a lot heavier than I have in the past. I traded with a $10,000 account, and I only look to make $1,000, 10% per day that I trade. That's not including the good days. Like I said, you never know when you're gonna have the crazy good days. But a lot of times I would get caught up trading 0 DTEs a lot heavier than I had to. Let me explain. 0 DTEs have very aggressive theta, very aggressive delta and gamma. So the Greeks are gonna affect the contracts a lot quicker than they would contracts that have time. And if you have 10-cent contracts, it goes down 1 cent, you're immediately down 10%. So if I'm trading 0 DTEs with $10,000, very quickly can I make money and very quickly can I lose money. It's all about your risk. You have to stop trading 0 DTEs completely, cut it out. Weekly contracts, 2-week contracts. It's gonna give you so much more time to make decisions when you're in your trade. I'm not asking you, I'm literally begging you to stop trading 0 DTEs. If not, you will never become profitable. The 4th thing is let the ego go. So a lot of you might not even have an issue with the charts. A lot of times the trade always ends up going your way. Might have been a user error, you might have cut it too early, got stopped out, played too heavy, whatever the reason was. A lot of you aren't even worried about losing money. Most of you are just worried about being wrong. And there's nothing wrong with being wrong. I'm wrong maybe 90% of the times. Anybody can say, I think the market's gonna do this, that. Nobody truly knows what the market's gonna do. The market will tell you what it's gonna do. That's why we have tools like the fair value gap, broken levels on higher time frames, and other things that'll help you identify what the market's doing. But most people get stuck with doing one thing and one thing only, even if it doesn't work, because they either preach it, practice it, whatever, they just want it to work so bad. They hope it works and they know it'll, but it just doesn't work. There's proven tools that have worked time and time and time again. And I'm not saying that there's only one way to trade and one way only. There's several other ways to trade: supply and demand, the fair value at broken levels, whatever setup you may have, whatever strategy you may use. So let the ego go. Understand that you might be wrong more times than not. It's about the decisions you make and when you take action. It's very important. And then number 5 is make sure you leave runners. I'm speaking to myself when I say this. I didn't leave enough runners this year, and there were times where because I'm playing with $10,000. I'll take my 10-15%. Once I hit 10-15% in profit, I'll scale out a majority of my position and I'll leave runners. Half the time, I'm okay with my profits, and then I just cut the rest of my position and come back the next day or whenever the next trade presents itself. But there were times where it never came back down to a retracement, never got a re-entry, and it just kept running, so I could have made so much more money had I just left runners. So next year, I definitely will be leaving a lot more runners. Left so much money on the table this year, but it only makes me excited because I'm only getting better with you guys, and we're gonna continue growing. $1 million next year. Promise you guys. Anyways, that's my top 5. Now, whether you're a beginner trader looking to start taking options seriously or an experienced trader looking to make more money in 2025, I'm officially enrolling students into the Students to the Game 2.0. Mentorship 1.0 went better than I expected. The goal was to help somebody make their first 5-figure month within 90 days. Someone was able to do it in less than 60. A lot of the students are having 4-figure days. Some are making $5,000 a month after only 40 days of being inside the mentorship. I don't think you guys understand how ridiculous that is. So if you're interested, make sure you read the options playbook. I have a link below. It's completely free. It's a complete guide of how I trade, my entire strategy, everything put together so that way you can go step by step. You see, it took me 7 years to pick up on what I know, but it's not gonna take you 7 years because you're learning what I know now. So watch the video on the application page so you can learn a lot more about what we're doing inside and how we're helping students become profitable. Like this video, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Decrypt out.